that starting from this moment, that rate of return that has hitherto been slow will accelerate to a supersonic speed, turbocharged by the zeal and enterprise of the private sector trading for power consumption.
This development, having power transferred to private investors, I think I foresee hope. I foresee economic boost. I foresee, average Nigerian coming into business using electricity, sustainable one. So we have a high hope, really.
The success of the privatization process could be noticed in the next couple of days if power becomes more steady.
Ask yourself, what does everyone want in life? 1, quality. You should never compromise on quality. I never do. 2, speed. You think fast, so you want your data connection to be even faster. And of course, everyone wants to be appreciated. Like free roaming. Now you can receive all your calls for free every time you travel. And enjoy free calls on your birthday to call anyone you want. It's our way of saying we appreciate you because you deserve it.
Introducing Etisalat Gem. Join the Etisalat network today and enjoy amazing rewards.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, yes, indeed, we'll start off talking about the reforms going on in the power sector. Well, yes, you do know that the federal government has handed over PSEN to successor companies. Arome Salifu joins us from our studios in Abuja. He is the National Coordinator, Professionals and Business Groups of the People's Democratic Party. Morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, yes, indeed, the federal government did go ahead to hand over to about 10 successor companies, but in the midst of all of that, you had the issue or the question, if you will, of payment of emoluments, and in spite of that, yes, the handover went on. How do you view the reforms with respect to this handover, first and foremost?
For having me this morning. I want to first and foremost begin by congratulating Nigerians for their support, for their optimism, and for being hopeful towards ensuring that we have stable electricity for Nigerians. You agree with me that this process started immediately the current administration of President Goodluck Jonathan came into power. He set up the Presidential Task Force on Power, headed by Chief Dagogo Jack. And then, of course, there was a technical committee to look into the processes, the procedures, that will ultimately guarantee the smooth transition and the privatization of the power sector in this country. The process has been credible, has been transparent, has been fair, and has been very competitive, has been demonstrated in the last 1 year. Having said that, you just asked about talking about the payment of workers' severance allowances and entitlements and so on. Yes, of course. The federal government has worked assiduously to ensure that all those who are entitled to being settled in the entire process are being settled as such. I'm very much aware that about 40,000 workers are already about to be fully settled. And of course, the remaining number are to be settled after the verification exercise is completed.
Yes, but
so I truly want to, I truly want to congratulate Nigerians for the optimism, and equally congratulate Mr. President for working tirelessly to ensuring that Nigerians have stable power supply, for their use.
Aroma, I mean, while you congratulate Nigerians, what do you know? What can you tell us about, for instance, of course, you know that you have the generation, transmission, and distribution. So, are you factoring in all of these three aspects while you're congratulating Nigerians? Because if you only have to do with the distribution, do we have increased capacity in generation and transmission? Because they all have to work together effectively.
Okay. We have 9 generating power stations in this country, and you are very much aware that the 9 just recently on the November 1st this month, they were handed over to the private sector to handle. We all know that the challenge with our power supply in this country has to do, of course, with the 3 stages that you just mentioned, talking about generation, transmission, and distribution. At each of these levels, of course, there's need for significant improvement and overhauling of the capacity to meet up with the demands expected. The generation, as we speak, stands around 3,500 megawatts. And I think we got to the highest peak of a generation of about 4,500 megawatts sometime in 2012. And I think really, since the private sector have taken over, it's a matter of time that generation is going to be improved upon, significantly. Again, it's not just about generation alone. Another challenge is equally in the aspect of transmission. You need to transmit the powers after being generated in the various stations to across the transmitting lines, in the country. Then after that, you have to equally talk about the distribution. So all of these levels of value chain in the power sector are already being addressed. The NIPP projects are already going to be on stream sometime next year, early part of next year. And of course, they are going to add about 10,000 megawatts, to the entire national grid. And all of this put together, definitely Nigerians are going to have uninterrupted power supply, I can assure you. The government, yes.
Yeah, because, when the president was in Lagos and he launched that power sector roadmap, and I mean, looking through that, you've had several shortcomings, even though they explained to us what actually happened. And then you had different comments coming through from government authorities. But Hope Upong, he's watching, and he just sends this one in straight away. He says, listen, guys, South Africa generates over 35,000 megawatts of power. We need 40,000 megawatts and another 40,000 as standby to get uninterrupted power supply. You talked about 3,500 or maximum, have we gotten to 5,000? So when do you see us achieving this that Hope Bookman talked